Sonic Frontiers just released new DLC in the form of the long-awaited Soap Shoes, and Sonic fans are eating this up, mostly because we haven't seen a feature like this, at least for Sonic, in its debut game Sonic Adventure 2. In fact, most of us thought it was never going to happen due to a potential legal agreement, but it looks like that may have just been speculation. Speaking of speculation, now that we know features like this are in place, I am assuming the tech behind it is being carried over from Sonic Forces, as evidenced by this and how Sonic's hand is being digitally altered in the game, which, if that is the case, we're probably going to see more complex options than just the tacked on customization that came about in Sonic Colors Ultimate. So what kind of options are there? Which would be the most aesthetically pleasing drip for Sonic? And which aspects from previous Sonic games should be reintegrated and or modernized? Well, here are my top 5 customization features for Sonic Frontiers and how I'd go about them. So in no particular order, Number 1. A Sonic and the Black Knight fit, but not like in its entirety. Obviously, I don't think they would put in a sword, but seeing the iconic hand glove along with some headpiece and shoes from the super form, but on Sonic's base form, would be really cool, especially since in this game you're dealing with combat, which is something Sonic and the Black Knight did kind of have. It would also be nice to see this translated in the super form as well, since it seems like we're going to be in this form more often now. Number 2. Nights into Dreams. It's pretty much a staple for the Sonic series where we see some kind of nod to other Sega titles, most specifically Nights, so why not have it be a costume? Especially since we're going to be seeing Sonic reaching new heights while in the air. Sonic is even seen performing tricks with similar sparkle effects to Nights. It would definitely be very fitting. I would probably just keep it to being a jester-like tuxedo uniform that only changes the top half, basically giving Sonic a long sleeve jacket. Number 3. A Link costume from Breath of the Wild. It's no surprise that Sonic Frontiers' open world aspect can be compared to Zelda Breath of the Wild, and with Sega and Nintendo having very close ties, they could potentially have an exclusivity deal for the Nintendo Switch. It could also be a callback to Sonic Lost Worlds DLC, but this time I would rather use the light blue tunic from Breath of the Wild, as I think that lighter blue would look fire on Sonic's dark blue fur. Number 4. Sonic Riders outfit. There's nothing more iconic than the Sonic spin-off series, Sonic Riders, and I'm pretty sure we can all agree that the aesthetic for the game was quite unique, although it would be a minor scope change since most of the notable changes are just in Sonic's glasses and the shoes, but it would be fitting for Sonic Frontiers considering that there is a ranking system in place. In fact, if Sega wanted to go further, instead of the glitch effect, give us that stylized pencil shadow effect on Sonic. Oof, that would be a chef's kiss. And number 5. Elemental effect. Now, this one needs some explaining. This idea borrows what was presented in Sonic Colors Ultimate, where you could customize the trail effects Sonic left behind when boosting. So not a customization for the model itself, but the visual effects. Except instead of making random basic effects, it would be a better idea to call back the elemental shields, but in the form of the visual effect. So maybe instead of having a Psyloop trail, Sonic can leave a fire, water, or electricity type effect instead. Or if they want to maintain clarity for Sonic's Psyloop ability, maybe adding a little burst effect with these elemental abilities for when Sonic boosts, because as it is right now, the boost effect is kind of lacking, at least in my opinion. But these are just some of the choices I have at the top of my head. What would be your top customization you would want to see in Sonic Frontiers? I mean, if we're getting soap shoes, then hey, maybe anything is possible. Let me know in the comments below. Right now, go!